Okay, I think I'm doing it now. Feel very futuristic. Okay, future is now. We're gonna try sharing screen here. And I am not sure if I'm sharing my screen at all. Um, all right. It appears I am sharing my screen. And we're gonna go over here to DigiOddFin Purge. And let's just take a look at what we've got going on from the jump here. I'm not really sure how to actually preview. Maybe this. Okay. X strategy for Fiji water. The account, Fiji water's presence on X. Fiji water is our focus today. The strategy presented here revolves around Fiji water's presence on X, formerly known as Twitter. Though the name has changed, still located at twitter.com. The account has 50,900 followers at this point. They rarely post on their X account, but when they do, they reply to customers a lot, and their original posts tend to revolve around highlighting their own sponsorships. The most recent post was on the 2nd of July, 2023. It was one of three posts, all on in July, that were showing support for the Flying Fijians rugby team at the Rugby 2023 World Cup, which is pretty cool. Before that, there were a few posts highlighting their sponsorships of things like the Grammys and the Emmys. They posted back when it was Twitter. They just tweeted water one day, so that's a good putting the product out there. And it's clear, though, that their main priority on the platform has been centered around what they sponsor and where they are featured in usually high class settings. A SWOT analysis of Fiji Water as a company here is that they have a lot of reach as a strength. That's a major strength, available in over 60 countries. So a lot of awareness around the world for the Fiji water. Another strength is their source, which is a underground sustainable aquifer that it's very marketable having this source because it does not in any way touch the outside environment. It's all in this underwater aquifer where that rainwater through hundreds of years goes down into and it naturally filters. And it's a vast aquifer, apparently, very vast. One of the weaknesses is that the Fiji water currently use plastic packaging, which does tend to go against the image of an eco-friendly company like Fiji water. Although it is a little bit more complicated than that, and we'll cover that. The optics of that are a weakness in some people's eyes. Shipping costs is another weakness because Fiji water can only come from Fiji. So they have to ship it to all these 60 countries from out in the Pacific Ocean. It's a lot of supply chain links there. But there are some opportunities. I believe personally we should lean into the luxury at Fiji a little bit and at least start offering some glass packaging. And along with that, I think we could tie these two opportunities together. Have a sparkling Fiji water that maybe has some flavors in it. There are some competitors in the industry that do this, and I think Fiji could get by with creating a sparkling flavored water in glass packaging to go along with the standard plastic packaged good old-fashioned water. Some threats: greenwashing. So Fiji has actually been sued in the past for advertising themselves as more eco-friendly than they are, because the plastic that they're using is well, now it's well, like, no, no, not the plastic. The fact that they have to have these ships from China that use a lot of gas and oil, emitting fumes into the environment, and they used to not be using 100% recycled plastic. Now they are, so it's not that's been rectified, but just a lot of emissions involved in the process of making this water that have somewhat been addressed. Another threat is inflation. The average consumer is trying to save money wherever they can these days, and bottled water, in many people's minds, is a corner to cut. Competitors. So the big one is Voss. Voss and Fiji both sort of tap into this luxury water uh, image. Uh, and it's funny, you think of when I say luxury water image. So Voss has 27.4K followers on X, which is good news for Fiji because Fiji has almost twice as many. Voss, however, does have more than 3 times as many Instagram followers. So I think that that image of that glass bottle is really a strength for Voss in regard to luxury Instagrammable uh, image. So also there's Smart Water. Smart Water has more followers than Fiji on X. I think that has somewhat to do with some of their marketing strengths. That we again we'll bring some of that up a little bit later. But Smart Water is like Fiji Water in gas stations, airports all across the country and across the world. Very another widely reaching brand. Smart Water, back in March, they had multiple posts that featured Pete Davidson, who's a very, very famous actor and comedian, and is talked about a lot on social media. So it was a very good endorsement on their part. Our current audience and our future, hopefully, target audience, not future target, future audience that we are targeting. Our current audience is widespread and varied. People from and affiliated with Fiji, the islands of Fiji itself, have a particularly keen interest. Fiji's followed by a lot. Fiji Water, excuse me, is followed by a lot of Fiji news outlets on X. But people in airports and gas stations have their eyes on Fiji Water, and are just as much a part of the audience. But on social media, people into the tropical, luxurious vibe and the soft taste of Fiji Water in reality tend to be loyal followers on the X account. Our target segment, I think, should be single homeowners, excuse me, meaning not meaning in a relationship. I mean, sorry, excuse me, single meaning not in a relationship, not they own one home, that they are single and they own a home. Only 43.1% of single homeowners these days are men. It is dominated by women at this point in time. 56.9% of single homeowners are women. Fiji should target this group of people that's particularly have an interest in sustainable, eco-friendly practices. And I think that this demographic of people has a lot more money laying around than other demographics. You could throw child free into this mix if you'd like, but a single homeowner is going to have more disposable income to throw around in general on things like cases of bottled water, which is what we're trying to sell here. So an example of that might be someone like Carol. Carol, let's say, makes about $70,000 a year, recently purchased her first home, a nice one-story in a suburb of Phoenix. Say she graduated from the University of Arizona with a bachelor's of science in nursing, works for a local hospital. She's a busy suburbanite out in the desert, enjoys the tropical getaway feeling that she gets from Fiji Water, and is active on social media, but perhaps she's hesitant to continue using X after the recent rebrand. Fiji Water can make posts that keep her feed refreshing by catering to that sort of tropical, eco-friendly atmosphere that just makes people feel good. Our goal is to connect to our target audience. And one thing that our strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats connect in that regard to the target audience is that we recently began using 100% recycled bottled water bottles to evade the greenwashing accusations and allegations. And our target audience, as I just covered, may be less affected by inflation as well due to more disposable income. A business goal, a smart goal that I would like to see us have is to sell 200% more cases of Fiji water within the next 5 months, because people tend to buy a lot of Fiji water one bottle at a time on the go. We want to get more cases in houses. Our key point of interest in that regard is that we want to see if our X posts are affecting case sales. So we're once every 2 weeks, Fiji will post an original post centered around purchasing cases that we will track the next 2 weeks. Hopefully within that week immediately following the post, there will be more case sales. We want to upload those posts at 5 a.m. Eastern on Monday mornings because we want Fiji water to be one of the first things on people's minds as they set about their week. Many single homeowners are professionals who are early to rise, and we want to create content with an emphasis on purchasing cases. So take Carol, for instance. Imagine an X post where it's a well-produced commercial, basically, of Carol waking up in her desert apartment, looks out her window, maybe her lips are dry. She gets ready, brushes her teeth, and then she goes to the fridge. The first thing she sees front and center, case of Fiji water. The next thing we see is her taking a sip. Immediately, she's surrounded by a safe jungle setting, as if transported by the Fiji water. She pulls the bottle away from her lips. We hear thunder. The rain crashes against her skin in a pleasant way. She closes her eyes and smiles, and suddenly she appears back in her apartment rejuvenated, grabs her keys and heads off for work. That's the kind of message we want to send about how a case of Fiji water comes in handy. And we should retweet essentially a lot of posts revolving around recycling because we're trying to, again, emphasize eco-friendly, and we're trying to draw an eco-friendly audience. Single homeowners should be very familiar with the concept of recycling and eco-conscious in general. So it'd be a great association to reinforce. This is another, aside from eco-conservation, we might be able to tap into social discourse and maybe even get back at some of our competitors. One idea is to strike up a deal with Ariana Grande. It might be funny to have a commercial of her saying "thank you next" to a bottle of water called Intelligent Hydration. And then saying Fiji water, oh, you can stay, or something like that. People love a good inside joke, and Ariana Grande, Pete Davidson, that whole thing. Anyway, beyond creating and sharing content, one thing I propose is we should also have an annual contest where the winner and two people of their choosing get to visit Fiji and take a look at the underground aquifer. I think that would be a great opportunity, and we should use the hashtag Fiji World and encourage them to use it in their posts to have that opportunity to win the contest, get to go to Fiji, and that will help spread eco-consciousness and the word about Fiji water making a difference in the world. So to sum things up, by making original posts, reposting eco-friendly content, establishing high-profile celebrity endorsement, and hosting a contest rewarding sustainable practices, Fiji Water can connect with single homeowners who share similar earth-friendly core values. And the hope is that by tracking the purchase of cases of Fiji Water in conjunction with the social media output on X, we can see that more eco-conscious people are choosing to drink Fiji water at home, which is great because eco-conscious people will advocate that which they believe to be good for the world, the planet. So we need to be rigorous in our mission to attain that demographic's loyalty. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.